today.
Bradford aim to go back to the top of the big league tonight. Standing in their way, one of the most famous names in the game, Wakefield Trinity. Odsal stages the biggest match this big league weekend. Derek Fox was Bradford's hero last Sunday. His 7th drop goal of the season clinched a vital 2 points at Sheffield. Northern are a team transformed now that Paul Newlove is settled in the side. His tries shattered the Featherstone club record last season. He's got 16 so far this time, including a titanic effort against Castleford. David Watson has blossomed under Peter Fox's guidance at Odsal. Since arriving last season, he's just missed 1 game in 52. And in Bree McKebby, Northern have a true winged flyer. 14 tries now for the man they once called the New of Fire. You can see why. Roy Powell will tackle his heart out all day. Peter Fox's first major signing in '92, he kept them in the big league that year. Andy Mason has been Wakefield's leading scorer 4 out of the last 5 years. His tries have kept Trinity afloat. Andy Wilson's a survivor of Wakefield's last Odsal win in '89. He knows his way to the Bradford line, though, this in last year's win at Bellevue. Look out for the big Aussie Dave Woods, who has arrived this season as others have left. Woods' runs take some stopping. The Trinity skipper will lead from the front. Bradford Northern, along with Warrington, are the realistic challengers to Wigan's crown. They're aiming for a 6th consecutive home win over Wakefield Trinity, and confirmation they will go to the top of the table if they win tonight. Let's check their team out. New Zealand international David Watson's the fullback. He took part in all 3 of the tests against Great Britain this autumn. Dio Powell is on the wing, the 20-year-old under-21 international. He makes only his 2nd start of the season. The Kiwi Darryl Shelford is in the centre, brother of the famous former All Black captain Buck Shelford. Paul Newlove is the 22-year-old world-class centre.
Paul Newlove's 16 tries so far this season proves he's in devastating form. This dynamic centre is arguably the strongest running three-quarter in the game. Has a great sidestep and amazing speed for such a big man. Newlove's upper body strength will create plenty of problems for Trinity's defence tonight.
Paul Newlove, the £245,000 summer signing from Featherstone Rovers, where he broke the club's try-scoring record last season. Bree McKebby scored the first hat-trick of his Bradford career against Sheffield last Sunday. Neil Summers is the standoff. He bagged 2 tries in 2 of the 3 matches Northern played against Wakefield last season. Derek Fox, the scrum half, his drop goal, his 7th of the season, won the match at the Don Valley Stadium last Sunday. Up front, Paul Grayson's played the last 6. His dad, Jeff, is the former Great Britain and Bradford Northern skipper. 44-year-old Jeff is still playing for Batley. Trevor Clark's the hooker, the Kiwi, another of Peter Fox's signings from his former club, Featherstone Rovers. John Hamer is in 10. He's been ever present in the Bradford team sheet so far this season. Roy Powell has had 10 years at the top, but only a county cupman has medal to show, though he has won 19 international caps for Great Britain. Paul Dixon was a member of the Halifax side in 1986, which won the title, the last Yorkshire side to win the championship. And Carl Fairbanks, the loose forward, the Great Britain international, who played prop forward in all 3 tests against the Kiwis in the autumn. And the coach, Peter Fox, in his 2nd spell at Odsal, again his Bradford side are in contention for the title. Now, Wakefield Trinity have had their fair share of off-the-field problems this season. Directors have resigned, the players have been asked to take a cut in wages, but they keep battling on. Desperate to avoid the drop to Division 2, they left the lower reaches in 1987 in David Topless's first season in charge. And this is the side that Topless hopes will bring home the points tonight. Gary Spencer is the fullback. who's scored tries in 2 of Wakefield's 5 league victories so far this season. Gary Christie comes into the side on the wing for the injured James Mosley. Christie, the signing from Oldham, a former under-21 international. Andy Mason is again Wakefield's leading try scorer with 9 tries.
Andy Mason is one player capable of creating an upset this evening. At 31 years of age, the Trinity centre has the experience to lead by example and could provide the handling skills to ignite the outside backs. Despite getting on in years, he still has the speed and agility to expose the best of defences. If Wakefield support plays on song, then we could be in for a classic encounter.
Mason has led the club scoring charts 4 out of his 5 years here. Adrian Flynn is the Academy International picked up from local amateur football in Dewsbury. Andy Wilson is on the wing in 5, a survivor of the last win against Bradford here at Odsal in March 1989. Henry Paul is the outstanding junior Kiwi captain. He will play this season and then join the Auckland Warriors and John Money. Billy Conway is a hooker turned scrum half, over 150 games for the club, mostly in the number 9 jersey, but not tonight. Steve Durham is the former Hull prop forward who's played the last 13 matches since his Wakefield debut. Matthew Fuller is the Australian from South Sydney, and he's also played for Canterbury and St George down under. John Glancy gets his first start of the season, contract dispute settled. He's been keeping fit, turning out in the reserves. Nigel Bell is Wakefield's 10-year man. He's enjoying a benefit year and is one of the game's unsung heroes. Dave Woods has taken over the captaincy of this Wakefield side from Jeff Bagnall, another Aussie who's preparing for the start of the new season with Canberra Raiders. And Richard Slater completes the lineup. He can also play fullback and both of the halfback roles. And the coach at Wakefield, David Topless, has already hinted this might be his last year in charge, but he remains one of the best young coaches around. Now, the head-to-head confirms that Wakefield Trinity, they've had a poor showing over the years against Bradford, and here at Odsal, Northern have won 13 matches. This season, defence has been a problem for Bradford. Even Hull, who currently stand 5th bottom, have a better points against total. Wakefield, well, their problems are obvious. Only bottom of the table Lee have scored fewer points. In summary then, Northern are second, only 3 defeats all season, 14 wins. Wakefield, they're out of the bottom 2, but only 5 wins throughout the campaign in the big league, and they are desperate to avoid relegation. And confirmation that Bradford Northern are second in the table at the moment, and they will go top if they win here tonight. It's a different story for Wakefield. Victory over Lee took them out of the bottom 2 and above Oldham last week, but they are desperate for points for totally different reasons. So that really does sum it up for you. Bradford second top, Wakefield third bottom, both sides desperate for points, and Steve-O, that really is the match in a sentence. Both sides desperate to win.
Yes, vital 2 points for different reasons, obviously. But when you look at the team lineup, you'd have to say that Bradford would be odds-on favourites. Well, in very, very wet, slippery conditions, I think it'll bring Bradford down to Wakefield's level. Wakefield going through a lot of problems, 20% cut. That's what the officials have asked their players to take. They're against it. But will it affect them tonight? They have a very good habit of playing exceptionally well in front of the television cameras, and quite frankly, I think they'll put on a great show tonight. With such conditions, it has to be played in the forwards, and perhaps the team that makes the least mistakes will come off. Kicking will be vital. It's the first time we've seen the young junior Kiwi, Henry Paul. He's a very talented player, so much so that John Money wants him and is signing for Auckland. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares tonight. Kicking will be vital on that part also for Bradford. Derek Fox will be the key.
You've mentioned the very heavy conditions. The referee, John Connolly, has had a long, hard look at the pitch here at Odsal tonight, and the pitch will be, as you rightly say, a great leveller, won't it?
Yes, it has to be, and I'm sure that both coaches realise that what's going on there, and they'll use a bomb, they'll use a little grubber kick through, and if both sides do not drop a sweeper down and the fullbacks come into the line a little bit more, then I'm afraid they could be in a lot of trouble. Odsal Stadium is famous for the little kick-up because all the corners go up at the level, so we'll see a lot of kicking.
Yes, the corners are sloped up at the level here because of the speedway track that runs round this Odsal Stadium. So it's Wakefield Trinity who are the visitors here to Odsal, but coming next we meet this week's local hero. And this week it really is a man who has got a foot in both camps. He played for both Bradford and Wakefield, was the last man to coach Bradford to a Wembley final, Ian Brook, and we meet him after these.
This is the state of just part of the pitch here at Bradford Northern's Odsal ground. It's been raining all day and the water's standing in puddles in the corners where the speedway track joins. It's always a tricky area. It's going to be a tricky area tonight. It's been raining all day. The forecasters say that the rain is going to clear, although there's little sign of that happening yet. It's still raining. The wind, what there is 10 miles an hour, and it's not really going to be a big influence on tonight's game. And the temperature, a very cosy 3 degrees, but it's the rain and the mud out here on the pitch that I think is going to have the big influence on tonight's game.
Henry Paul is the outstanding junior Kiwis captain. He will join Auckland at the end of this season. He played in the Academy International at Wembley and was called into the full Kiwi squad towards the end of the tour and played substitute against Widnes. An outstanding young player to watch out for tonight. Bradford have emerged to the usual welcome here at Odsal. This is their side: Watson, Powell, Shelford, Newlove, Kebby, Summers. Derek Fox is their captain, the halfback. And up front, and the substitutes, David Heron and Paul Medley. Medley, a man who scored 4 tries against Wakefield in this fixture last season. Bree Kebby, the man who ran in the first hat-trick of his Bradford career at Sheffield last Sunday, and a try against Wakefield Trinity in September. The former Widnes, St Helens and Huddersfield man, 9 tries in just 10 appearances last season, which was an injury-hit campaign for the former Broughton Park player. And there is Paul Gratian, and his dad, Jeff, is still playing in the game. 44 years young, enjoying every minute of it is Jeff Gratian. And Paul... Now let's check out the Wakefield team for you. And up front they have Durham, Fuller, the Aussie, Glancy, Bell, Woods, another Australian, and Slater. Woods now the captain, and it's Lee Hanlon and Paul Brown who are the substitutes. Match referee, and he's something of a television star on the big league, isn't he? John Connolly, the referee of the year from Wigan. So we're just about ready. It's an awful night, it's a heavy pitch, but it is a match that beckons the top of the Stones Bidder Championship for Bradford Northern as Wakefield get the game underway. Wakefield needing the points for different reasons. Handling will no doubt be a problem. That ball will be a bar of soap. But Paul Dixon, the man who hangs on to it under the challenge of 3 Wakefield defenders. Wakefield in their away jerseys, predominantly blue. And that was Roy Powell hanging on to that. This is Paul Gratian now trying to drive the ball away from that Bradford Northern line. They're still in their 20-metre zone. Here's David Watson, the fullback. Good long ball out to Shelford. Tall centre for Bradford. Good tackling, though, this by Wakefield.
Great tackle by the winger, Andy Wilson there. Ball and all, he read that perfectly.
It was Fox's kick downfield that has caused problems. And Bradford Northern have got the ball back. A great kick downfield, that by Fox. Clark is the dummy half. This is John Hamer. Takes 3 to bring him down.
So important to use the kicking game in slippery conditions. We saw Billy Conway make a real meal of that because of the wet condition.
Ball out wide to Kebby, but he was watched all the way by Gary Christie. Good tackling. Watson trying to go down the blind side, comes the other way instead, gets the ball away to the tall figure of Newlove. Big test of this Wakefield Trinity defence early on. Fox and Gratian with the driving run to within 10 metres of that Wakefield line. This is the last tackle. Fox with another kick to cause panic behind that try line. The ball bounces free, and it's Shelford who comes up with the first try. 2 kicks from Fox, 2 moments of panic, 1 try, Darryl Shelford.
The kicking game holds the key. The experience of Fox, realising there was a lot of wet there and running through, and a real meal by Gary Spencer, the fullback. Spills the ball, the bat mistake, not the best start. They didn't give him much chance there. He should have taken that. Not under a great deal of pressure, and quite an easy try for Darryl Shelford. What a start for Bradford.
Remember when we were last here on a Friday night before the fog came in, it was a high kick that produced a try for Gerald Caudle against Wigan. Tonight, the kick from Fox has produced one that will count for Darryl Shelford. And Derek Fox with the conversion attempt. Only Davis and Bottiker have got a better record than him this season, and that one just fades. But a great start for Bradford, 4-0, and Wakefield have yet to touch it.
It's all about taking those chances, but the experience showing there from Derek Fox, and also the experience, no doubt, from their coach, Peter Fox, using the kicking game very early in the piece. Bradford elected to kick the ball early in the tackle count. Oh, bad mistake.
Luckily for Dixon, Bree McKevy was there to tidy up the pieces. The ball did not run dead. But this is just like the opening to this match, Steve-O, 3.5 minutes ago, where Wakefield hoofed the ball downfield. Bradford struggled to get out, but when they did get out, my word.
Well, it's all about making mistakes, and we'll see plenty of those tonight in slippery conditions. Summers having no chance with that, Eddie.
Yes, dropped the ball. Conway gets the ball inside to the prop forward Steve Durham, but good tackling coming in from Bradford. Here's Conway again. Now Spencer, the fullback. It's a good ball to Slater. Good tackling, Fox and Carl Fairbank. Glancy playing his first match this season. John Glancy, the big prop forward. First real opportunity for Wakefield, this. And the second rower, Woods, the captain, was stopped dead in his tracks then. They're 15 metres from the Bradford line. It's with Conway now, and again Conway. That's a lovely ball to Henry Paul. Good tackling from Neil Summers, his opposite number. There's nobody there for the play of the ball. Basic error from Bradford. Consternation on Conway's face.
Oh, bad mistake there. Conway had no other alternative, really. Just let fly at that. The New Zealander, Henry Paul, got up and played the ball without looking to see if he had any support into the dummy half position.
Bradford Northern in possession. They have 3 consecutive league wins behind them, but only just 29-28 at Sheffield last Sunday. That Derek Fox drop goal was priceless. That's Jeff Gracian's son Paul. And this is Carl Fairbank. Loose forward for his club, prop forward for his country. Trevor Clark, the hooker, to Fox. He misses out Powell and finds Summers. Bradford prepared to give the ball plenty of air. Despite these conditions, Watson unloads well. Powell takes it on. It's the last tackle for Bradford. Clark gives it to Fox. There's another kick downfield. Always dicey in these conditions. Good job that Henry Paul was there. Swept up the danger. Now Andy Wilson. Wakefield have had 6 consecutive years in the big league. They beat Lee last weekend to move out of the bottom 2. But there's another mistake from them.
Well, the ball really shouldn't have been reefed away there. It was well tackled. You could see quite clearly the fullback, Gary Spencer, had his back to the ball.
The referee's actually ruled that it was a Bradford arm that knocked the ball forward, and he's given Wakefield head and feet at this scrum.
Very fortunate there.
Spencer linking into the line finds Paul. The ball almost slipping out of Paul's grasp. This will be a problem, Steve-O, in these conditions. that ball will be so slippy.
It's to be expected, and that's why the kicking game is going to be so important. Mistakes are going to come plenty.
Good driving run from the prop forward, Steve Durham. He's grounded on the halfway line. Spencer gets the ball away to Glancy, to David Woods rather. Conway. Now Spencer, he'll want to make amends for that early mistake and does so and loads the ball to Slater, who promptly drops it. Handling errors mounting up for Wakefield already.
A little bit of a panic there, but I think it was helped along by the Bradford player. Won't be happy with that, Richard Slater. Unusual role in the loose forward in the pack. Normally plays in the three quarters.
Bradford ahead then, 4-0. The Darryl Shelford try. This run is from Paul Dixon. Interference there at the play of the ball. The Wakefield player should have got out the way. Instead of that, as the ball was played, he kicked it.
You'll see there, the man has to get away. Can't interfere. Once you've done the tackle, you're supposed to roll away. It was full of the hooker. Interesting, after that bad mistake from Gary Spencer, the Wakefield full-back, that they've dropped back Henry Paul into the full-back position to help him out, realising that kicking game is going to be so important.
Well, that was a ploy that David Topless told me last night might happen, that Paul would drop to full-back because apparently the opposing teams really have been giving him a bit of stick in the middle of the park, and they thought they might drop him back there if necessary. It's necessary now because of that run from Dixon. But the tackle was a bit high, I think, and it's gone Bradford's way, the penalty.
Loose forward Slater coming in there. Has a second go at him. Uses the elbow a little bit. Tried to grab. Second rower, Paul Dixon. Looks as though he's taken quite a knock there. Referee John Connolly, very quick to spot that. You see the loose forward, he said, but it looks all right to me. Not happy with the prop forward either, Steve Durham, perhaps. Yeah, there's a man swinging left arm. Probably see it better from this angle. Yes, you can see it's a prop forward Durham. It was the right arm coming over the top. Flat hand. Makes no difference. Attack to the head, anything above the shoulders, rightly penalised.
So Derek Fox with this conversion attempt, bang in front of the sticks, missed the difficult conversion out on the far side, but this penalty from bang in front, despite the very wet and muddy conditions, this should be no problem. And it isn't. He clips it firmly between the woodwork. So Bradford now 6 and Wakefield 0. Just the start Bradford needed. If they win tonight, they'll leapfrog Warrington at the top of the table, and with the Challenge Cup beginning next weekend, it'll be a nice position for them to be in, and they will wait anxiously to see how Oldham do against Warrington on Sunday. Players making sure before they pick up. That was Watson. Good chase, Slater and Fuller, the first two in. Here's Dixon. Gets away from the centre, Adrian Flynn. Doesn't get away second time, though. Gratian now.
Forwards running well for Bradford. The second row of Paul Dixon really has taken quite a time to settle into the Bradford style, but he really is in top form now.
Trevor Clark is the dummy half. There's Fox. That was a good ball to Summers. Nigel Bell with the tackle. Good help from Slater also. Fox with the pick downfield. Well taken though by Gary Christie. In for the injured James Mosley. Former Oldham man, Christie. 23 on Sunday he is. Now Paul again. Played full back in the academy test at Wembley against the Great Britain side. So no stranger to that full-back role. The pass was forward.
Well, it's a chance that you take when the man runs directly in front of the line. You can see that Matthew Fuller takes it a little bit too late and slow. Overrun by the prop forward, the big Steve Durham. Not the best start for Wakefield. Getting back to that fact that the Wakefield did drop Henry Paul back into the fullback position. I bet Coach David Topless wished they'd have done that from the start. That way, perhaps, the mistake from Gary Spencer would not have occurred.
It's Furbank with the run, and he does well. He sucks the players in, releases the ball to Fox. He finds Watson. Watson takes the return pass from Hamer, and here's Gratian. It's good fluid movement from Bradford. Well done to keep the ball alive again. It was Gratian's pass to the try scorer, Shelford. Bradford anxious to get on with it. This is Dixon running strongly from the dummy half position. Takes Bradford to within 10 metres of that Wakefield line. Here's Fox again. Long pass again, this time to Watson. Watson skips away from the challenge from Fuller, keeps the ball alive once more. It's great movement from Bradford, this.
Excellent support play from Bradford Northern. They really are supporting the man carrying the football. But the main fact is they're getting over that advantage line.
Another chance here. They've dropped it, but it's come back on their side. And I rather fancy that that is Neil Summers. And it is. Summers with the try. It looked as though the chance had gone. The ball bounced into the stand-off arms, and Summers now with 12 tries this season.
A fine example of a quick play of the ball, rushing onto it at full speed. Beautiful pass from Fox, but wasn't that a lovely pass also? Inside, Powell couldn't take it. He's ruined the fact that he missed a try. Didn't realise that Neil Summers had backed up well. But look at this pass from Fox. Fairbank. Oh, that's great. That is great play. The hooker, Trevor Clark, hangs on. That is absolutely wonderful forward play. Turning in the tackle, keeping the ball alive, and that man picks up 4 points.
And Derek Fox adds the extra 2. Bradford Northern mean business here. 12-0.
Just watch how they back each other up here. This is wonderful pass from Fox, but it's a forward play here. Look at that. Fairbank back inside. The hooker Clark. Powell misses it, but Summers support play. That's what you call second phase, and it pays off.
So Wakefield Trinity are up against it. 12-0 down. Just over 14 minutes gone. But a mistake from Derek Fox will give them head and feet at the scrum.
Just goes to show that even the best and experienced can make simple, basic mistakes. You could see him looking at the second rower. Nigel Bell coming towards him.
So it's time for Gary Spencer to try something up this end of the field. Wakefield have rarely been in the danger zone. Mason is there. Gets the ball away to Paul. Fuller is the dummy half. And Nigel Bell, the man in his benefit year at Wakefield Trinity. Great servant to the club. Fuller again, the acting halfback, holding on to it despite the run from Dave Woods, his captain. Bradford's defence holding firm. Slater gets the ball inside to the prop forward Durham. The ball comes free again. Now the referee says that is back to 6, and that looked to me like a Wakefield arm that was in its second time, definitely.
Well, a prop forward Durham gets it away, but you see John Hamer actually touched it. Referee John Connolly says played on there. The chance, Hamer didn't take it.
But I think the referee has glanced at his touch judge on this near side and has gone back on his decision.
Well, that is unusual. Relief for Bradford. Now you see the prop forward Durham. The ball comes through and Hamer gets to it. Had the chance. Well,
brave refereeing from Connolly, because he signalled back to 1. Took a glance over at his touch judge, who was signalling for the knock-on against Wakefield, and changed his mind.
Well, we've always said that referees need a lot of help, and the touch judges are doing that.
That's a good ball. This is a great run from Furbank. The ball inside came off to Watson. Great support play from Newlove. Here's Kebby. Kebby trying to take him on down the outside. Henry Paul was up to the task. Great tackle, great attack this from Bradford again. Here's Roy Powell. That look forward to Gratian. Play on is the decision. Well picked up by Shelford. But the knock-on given.
Tried to take it on the half volley, the New Zealander centre, Daryl Shelford. But Wakefield were in awful strife. But what a great tackle by this man, Henry Paul. He's got plenty of speed as Kevy, but he couldn't get round the New Zealander then. But what a let-off there for Wakefield, because their defence was all at sea.
Conway trying to take it on, but what a coup by David Topless to bring this man Paul into this Wakefield Trinity side. No wonder he has been picked up by John Money and the Auckland Warriors, who will be earning his corn in 1995 and thereafter in the Winfield Cup. Durham is the big prop forward for Wakefield. The hooker there was Fuller. He gets the ball away, but that's great tackling on Clancy by Paul Newlove. Conway to Spencer. And good tackling from Fox and Powell. As we said at the start of tonight's show, Powell will tackle and tackle all night long. Paul under pressure, but gets away and pumps a good kick downfield, but it will skim away on this turf.
A little bit too strong there. The idea was right, but far too much weight. Well, we said before this game, quite a lot of people and fans suggested that perhaps Bradford may take Wakefield a little bit too easy, and it could be their downfall, but they really have come out with all guns firing.
They're defending an unbeaten home record stretching back 10 months and 11 games. Warrington, the last side to win here in March. They're in a rich vein of form, and they are realistic title contenders. Bradford Northern. That looked like a little short, sharp right from David Woods. Play on, says the referee. Gratian takes it up again. He's running strongly. Gets the ball away to Clark. He finds Watson. Look at the support play here. Furbank again. Kevy is there. Kevy just couldn't take it. Paul picks it up. The Bradford crowd think that Kevy was tackled without the ball.
Well, they were committed to the tackle, weren't they?
And great tackling too, Steve-O, because they've got the ball back immediately.
They really are on song. Not only that, but notice how that the forwards from Bradford, they're turning in the tackle, and the support players there. They're looking to keep this ball alive.
It's John Hamer who picks himself up off the floor. Clark is the dummy half. Here's Watson. He's chimed into the line so often tonight already. Not the best pass in the world, though, inside from Furbank. He acknowledges that.
It was good work from Bell there. You could see that he knew that there was turning, trying to get the ball away, and Bell knocked the arm down. I've seen a lot of referees give a penalty for that.
Bell with that run, but stopped by Powell, his opposite number. Fuller to Conway. Conway then to Spencer. The ball back inside to the centre. It's Adrian Flynn. Good run from the tall Academy International. Fuller again. And the ball back inside. Good play by Durham. Finds Glancy. Last tackle. Midway through this first half, last tackle for Wakefield. Soccer skills coming in here from Paul. Goalkeeping skills from Watson. Great full-back display there.
Certainly was, but good play also by Conway. Put a little short grubber kick through, and his partner Henry Paul came third. Didn't get much of a look out of the bounce, did he? Just went straight in the arms of Watson. And a forward pass.
Watson looks a little bit disgusted, and that's the reason.
And so he should. Very lackadaisical there at dummy half.
So Wakefield have a chance again with Mason, but he's all wrapped up for a moment by Newlove. Just did enough to put him off. Watson finishes the tackling job. Spencer gets the ball away to Bell. Fuller the dummy half. Conway is there. Flynn was one runner. This is Durham, the prop forward. Haul down. It really is a forwards night, this. And there's one of them, Dave Woods, the Wakefield skipper. Wakefield now within 8 meters of the line. My, how they could do with a try. Paul trying. Paul coming up with it. That's superb play from this young standoff half.
super play. The switch back out, the step, the skill, the handoff and the reach. That is a super try. Well taken by the youngster. Ball goes that way. They expect him to go out wide. Look at the step. 1 second again. And the stretch. That is a great try. And it could not have come at a better time for Wakefield, who were well and truly on the rack.
Only his second try of the season. And perhaps ominously for Bradford Northern, his last try in the big league came in the victory over Warrington. So Henry Paul, with 7 goals in this stint that he's had with Wakefield Trinity, tries to improve his 4 and make it 6. A player of some talent, isn't he? The junior Kiwi captain. Crowd doing their best to put him off, but the 19-year-old's nerve holds, and Wakefield are back in the hunt. 12-6 Bradford.
Not the best defence. You can see 2 Bradford players taking the fame, saying that is a beautiful gap there, and that's where he goes. He sees it well, spots it well, the step does it, and the strength. Wonderful stuff.
So exactly what David Topless would have wanted. A quick spring back after going 12-0 down, and 23 minutes of this first half gone. There have been some tight matches between these two here at Odsal over the years. Admittedly, Wakefield have a poor record on this ground. But if ever they needed motivating, they just need to look at the foot of the table, Wakefield Trinity. And the fact that it's only Oldham and luckless Lee who are below them should be motivation enough to perform here. And Woods was almost through, and off one knee gets the ball away to Spencer. And it's back to 1 tackle here for Wakefield, who have suddenly found their feet and found their nerve at Odsal.
Amazing, isn't it? There was Bradford just coasting along, 12 points clear. They looked to have this game well and truly sewn up, even so early in this game. But full credit to Wakefield. They took advantage of that bad mistake. And they'll go back with Bradford and rue the fact that they were very lackadaisical at that play the ball in their own quarter, allowed the scrum down, and Wakefield scored.
Here's Spencer, again on one knee. He gets the ball away to Conway. Conway jinking, trying to get away from Powell, but Roy Powell is formidable in situations like that. Woods and Paul again, who released the pass to the Bradford man. And Dio Powell just couldn't hang on to it. He's knocked it on.
Now will he give the pass there? It should have been a knock on the first line, but he won't. He'll give it to Wakefield head and ball, perhaps. 50-50 decision there, but John Connolly pretty confident about it.
Giving benefit of the doubt to Wakefield, and there's Paul again with that step. Again, as he goes down, he gets rid of the ball to Bell. In the last 7 or 8 minutes, Wakefield really have found their feet. Slater offloads the ball to Glancy. He keeps the ball alive. The crowd appealing for a knock-on. Again, John Connolly looks to his touch judge for guidance, and the signal comes in.
Trying to keep the ball alive, but was it interfered with there? So difficult under these conditions. The ball is just like a bar of soap.
This is Summers. Score of that second Bradford Northern try. Fox is the dummy half. Showed the way early on with his 2 kicks downfield that really did cause panic in that Wakefield defence, and they're getting bogged down.
Well, that's what I can't understand. Surely the message is going out. Stop just trying to run it out within your own quarter and your half. Let's get down there. The big boot, that's what's needed.
Powell with the run. Remember, Bradford aiming back for the top of the table. Penalty for laying on in the tackle. Powell trying to get to his feet. Matthew Four pilked out by referee Connolly.
Well, there's a few to get there. You could see that Steve Derham, the prop forward, just used his 2 players to help himself get back up. But David Woods, Matthew Fuller, the 2 Australians caught holding down.
John Hamer with that drive towards the quarter line of Wakefield Trinity for Bradford. Here's Gratian. It's now in the danger zone. Bradford have had all the penalties, 3-0. Direction of the attack switches, and Paul Dixon just about hangs on before getting the ball away to Summers. Shelford is the dummy half. This is Fox. The ball inside for Watson. Tried to apply the brakes on this skinny surface. He almost took out the two defenders like a couple of 10 pins. Here's Newlove. Took that low down, stood up and kept going. Great play. Good defence from Wakefield though. Last tackle for Bradford. Here's Fox. Dabs the ball through, looking for Kebby. And it's Henry Paul who sweeps up the danger but can't get back into the field of play. It will be another drop out from under the sticks for Wakefield.
Well, we discussed this in the preview, didn't we, about how the corners at Otfield come up from the speedway. It holds the ball up into that corner, but excellent play by this New Zealander, Henry Paul. He nearly got away and nearly got back into the field of play.
As he tried to scamper forward, did you notice the huge divot that he kicked up? That's how soft it is in that area of the pitch. And the dropout skids again on the surface. Bree McKevy has to tap it with his foot and then pick up, and then Glancy wheels him in. Now Powell. Three players converge on Roy Powell every time he gets the ball. Clark to Furbank. Furbank was trying to keep the ball alive and lost it. The ball would have been going towards the Wakefield line there. It would have been a Bradford knock-on. Wakefield have possession. Referee says carry on with it.
Fairback trying again to keep this ball alive. Perhaps the message may have been getting out now from their coach, Peter Fox. Let's just calm things down, get back into the swing of things. They're trying to score on every play of the ball, Bradford. They cannot afford to panic. They've only got a 6-point lead. And Wakefield has shown that they can fight back.
Look at the handling errors for Bradford. Really are creeping up 8-3. But it must be said, dreadful conditions here at Odsal tonight. Good drive by Woods, the Wakefield skipper. Last tackle for Wakefield. They're only 10 metres inside the Bradford half. Conway will kick. He's invited Christie to have a run at Watson. Watson safe as houses, despite the conditions. Calls Kebby inside him. Off goes Kebby. Great tackle, though, by Nigel Bell.
Super play by Watson, but equal to the task with that tackle on Kebby was Nigel Bell, the veteran, the man in his testimonial year. Super stuff.
Now Gratian steps away from one challenge from Matthew Fuller. Couldn't step away from the second one, though. And Bradford enjoying territorial advantage. But another handling error. That's number 9 on the count for them. Too many, despite the conditions.
Well, they got off to 2 wonderful tries by keeping the ball alive, but perhaps now is the time not to try to play dry style football. And that's what they're attempting, and it's not paying off for them.
10 minutes to half-time. Wakefield in possession. They've come back into the match in the last quarter of an hour. Conway, diminutive little figure at scrum half, finds Slater. Fuller was perhaps a bit too quick there. Good job that Gary Christie was in the right place. And Christie now, having skipped away from one, tries to skip away from Powell and Clark, but can't do so. Last tackle for Wakefield. Mason finds Spencer. He hoists the high kick across field. It's a difficult bouncing ball. Conway got a foot to it, but just had too much strength.
That's the right idea. Get the ball up high. There you could see the Bradford defence had no idea what was happening. They were running backwards. Quick play of the ball created that. Nice kick from Billy Conway. Just a little bit too strong, though.
Nobody in that Bradford defence, Steve-O, wanted it then, did they?
Well, it was a quick play of the ball that put Bradford on the backward step. They were moving into position.
So Powell looking to get away with that. The ball did go backwards, but it was a mistake at the play of the ball. Play on, says the referee. Dixon with the drive upfield.
Well, I know it's not pretty to watch, but these forwards should just hold onto the ball and really kick it right down and just hope for the mistake. Bradford have scored 1 try from a bad mistake from the kick. Surely they've got to try it again.
Hamer unloads well, finds Watson, who drops it once more. The errors now in double figures for Bradford.
There's plenty of experience on this Bradford side to realise that they've got to calm things down a little. It is not the condition to start playing fancy football all the time.
Wakefield then in possession. Players have come and gone. There has been an almighty change in personnel at Bellevue this season. And really that's as much a reason as any why they have taken so long to settle down in the big league, and why they're in so much trouble at the wrong end of the table. Nigel Bell just keeps on going and going for them.
It's been a gutsy performance, hasn't it, from Wakefield?
Conway with the kick across field. Well picked out of the air by Shelford. Slater was all round him. Good chase by the Wakefield loose forward. A blinding start for Bradford Northern, but Wakefield, haven't they stuck to the task well?
They've clawed their way back into this game. They're playing simple, basic football, tackling their hearts out.
Fitness, I think, will be the key as this match wears on. It's a paddy field of a ground out there. Clark at dummy half to Fox, to Furbank, to Summers. Wakefield sticking to the guns well in defence. There's the kick from Fox. Underneath it, Christie. No pressure on him. He's able to collect it.
Wonderful positioning there from the Wakefield winger, Gary Christie. Anticipated, knew it was the last tackle, was in the right position. It's all about thinking in this game.
Wilson, the dummy half. It's John Glancy. No, it's not. It's not Glancy. It's the centre, Adrian Flynn. They do look alike on a night like this. That's Woods. Got the ball out the back door. It was risky business, and it was a good job that Durham was there.
Well, now it's Wakefield's turn to do things that really they don't need. And the same applies. Where's the big boot?
Christie with the run. Keeps the ball alive. Here's Spencer. Good run from Spencer. Great run from Spencer. Hauled down. Was it high?
Never mind high. He should have passed inside to Mason. He had a clear run then, Mason.
Henry Paul with a bit more magic out the back door. And that's the forward pass. Woods couldn't pick up. It was on the last tackle anyway, so it's the automatic turnover.
Just tried a little bit too much there, the hooker Matthew Fuller. But super play by the little number 6, Henry Paul. He's shown some neat touches, hasn't he? No wonder that John Money wants him to join the Auckland Warriors.
Burbank unloads well. Watson. Hamer drops it. Mistake-ridden match this. But I must keep emphasising the conditions are absolutely appalling. It's only to be expected.
Well, it just wasn't on, was it? You could see that there was heavy traffic there. There was no chance that John Haymock was going to get to it. It's bad enough on a dry day in heavy traffic.
Handling error count is creeping up for Bradford. 11-4. Mason, though, gets the ball away to Paul. Here he is again. Lovely ball to Wilson. He keeps it going to the centre, Flynn. Conway holds the ball up, lets the runners go past him, then takes the tackle from Dixon and Summers. Full of the dummy half. Spencer, ball inside to Durham. Making progress.
Worked hard as a prop forward, hasn't he, Steve Durham?
Fuller again, that's a good run and a good pass. Spencer, though, can't hang on to it. I think that both sides, Steve, are just trying to force this pace.
Well, I was looking for the support there. It just come a little bit too late. Not in full control. I know we keep mentioning it. It's very difficult, slippery conditions. It's all about mistakes in times like this. Certainly nothing, it's not out there for fancy footwork or fancy passing, that is for sure.
Powell can't get away from this fierce tackling stint by Glancy and by Slater. Summers. Clark, the dummy half. Dixon, the runner. Still going Dixon, turned round, almost passed it straight into the arms of Steve Durham. Hung on. Powell will continue the run up to the halfway line for Bradford.
Much better there from Bradford forwards, running onto the ball, getting over the advantage line. Made about 30 yards there with 2 rushes.
There's the kick again downfield, but Andy Wilson has it for Wakefield. Good chase from Paul Gratian.
Certainly was. Prop forward, putting the wingman down there. And he was the only one there that actually raced away to chase that kick.
Ball slipped nicely into the arms of Fuller. Furbank and Gratian it is who did the tackling. Here's Christie. Christie just holds the ball up, finds Paul. I must say there's danger every time Henry Paul gets to it. We've emphasised the strength in the young British players this season, but he is one from the other side of the world who is a star in the making.
Certainly is, but let's not forget about some of the little bit of skills that's been on display from Gary Christie and Andy Mason, Adrian Flynn. Pretty young guys, but they've certainly lifted themselves for this game.
Watson. Slater, and it's almost dangerous that. In fact, it was dangerous. He's been penalised.
Well, did they twist him and try to put him and bury him through? Yes, they did. You could see quite clearly that the loose forward Richard Slater was attempting to try to plant Dave Watson. Billy Conway was also involved there. There's a swinging out from Mason. Now Conway, and there you see, they try to spin him onto his head. We can do without that. It's a bad mistake. They've lost a good position at Wakefield.
Bradford trying to make them pay for that indiscretion. It's Hamer with the first run. Clark to Powell. 10 metres short, Bradford Northern. Fox, it looked forward to Gratian. Play on, says John Connolly. Last minute of the first half. Nigel Bell trying to get out of the way. Summers was the dummy half. That's Fox. This is Watson. Watson to Newlove. Skips away from the challenge of Mason. It's a great run from Newlove. It's a magnificent try. Oh, that is world class from Paul Newlove, who registers his 17th try of his first season in Bradford's colours.
This is sheer power. The ball out wide. Watson, the long ball, and the step inside. He pulled Andy Mason to him, and the step again. No chance for the prop forward, Steve Durham. And look at the strength there, determination. 2 quick long balls, Fox, then on to Watson. Look at it go. Here he comes. Look at the step. You can see that Mason had gone up all on his own. There's no part of that. Forwards into it. Excellent stuff.
He took 6 men out in that movement, did Paul Newlove. He planted the ball next to the posts. Derek Fox adds the extra 2, and Bradford Northern increased their lead right on the stroke of half-time. Siren's gone. It's 18 points to 6. Derek Fox with the conversions, but Paul Newlove's try, the lasting memory of an error-ridden first half. Absolutely brilliant try from the 22-year-old centre. It's 18 to 6 to Bradford Northern, and Wakefield, with a spirited display, find themselves adrift at half-time.
Seize the day.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Box for myself, alone. I had no idea that it was going to be as difficult as it was. You had to get hit because it's knuckle to skin. You just had to lay it in there.
I want you to spill his blood.
I had a couple of bruises at the end of this. It's just a terrific movie, and I'm really proud of it.
The epic adventure story, Far and Away, premieres Sunday at 8 on Sky Movies.
Far
and Away, just one of 34 premieres you can see in January on the Sky Movie channels. Call 0506 460000. That's 0506 460000 now, and we'll switch you on.
Enjoy nature's freshest fragrances from the Haze Aroma Jar. Home is where the haze is.
Oh, Bruce. Brenda. Oh, Bruce. Oh, blimey, got to go back.
Trailer again, what a waste of money. Have you seen the phone bill?
I'm sorry, Mum. I'll do anything. Even shopping.
Brenda, get washing powder and softener too.
Money waster, eh? We'll see.
What did you say to him? Hang on a second. Ooh, clean and soft. I suppose this boulder's worth the extra.
Well, what's an extra? Cost less than these two.
Less? You save me some money. That makes a nice change. Oh.
Over 8 million Americans have signed here. The new GM credit card. It charges no annual fee, and you can get a rebate towards a new GM car.
The fastest growing credit card in America is now here. And the rebate towards a new Vauxhall could be £2,500 over 5 years.
If you'd like the new GM credit card from Vauxhall, sign here.
Did you know we can save a massive 11% if we book a holiday at the Lund Poly now? Get away!
How can a stomach as small as the tip of your thumb satisfy such an enormous appetite for life? The answer is Whisker's Kitten Food. Expertly prepared with all the vitamins, minerals, and protein your little power pack needs. Cats would buy Whisker's.
Seize the day.
When the ball is kicked forward and strikes a defending player, the referee decides if the player has deliberately played at the ball, in which case the tackle count is restarted. If he rules an accidental rebound, the tackle count continues.
Half-time here at Oddsall, Bradford Northern 18, Wakefield 6. A good half considering the conditions. An excellent try from Paul Newlove right on the stroke of half-time. Converted by Derek Fox, his third successful kick of the night, giving Bradford a 12-point advantage at the interval. I trust that you are enjoying it at home as much as we are here, and I know that there is a very big league fan sitting in the stands and watching this. His name, Michael Parkinson, who is with Bill Arthur.
Michael, your view of that first half?
I enjoyed it. I mean, Bradford Northern started off like a train, didn't they? And it was like a massacre for my team, Wakefield Trinity. Then Trinity held them a bit in that middle period and looked kind of good. But then that wonderful try by Newlove. He's a hell of a player, isn't he? Score from those kind of situations. It's been a very good game, and considering the conditions, I think marvellous entertainment.
18-6. Do you think Wakefield can come back?
I don't think so at all. No. We're again this lot. I mean, yeah, Bradford Northern are a very good side. The league position tells you that. Wakefield are struggling again. The league position tells you that. They're the form team, and they're playing like the form team too.
Your loyalty is with Wakefield Trinity. It must be painful seeing the way that things are on and off the pitch at the moment.
Yes, it's rather sad, isn't it? I mean, they look like some relegation prospects. The boy number 6, Paul, that guy Paul, he looks a hell of a good player actually. But yes, it's sad for a team with Wakefield's tradition. I mean, I first started seeing them many years ago, and the great Fox was in charge there. That's when I first started watching them. And things have changed for the worse, sadly.
It is sad, such a historic club, especially when we're about to launch the centenary celebrations.
Which is why I'm here, actually, because I'm chairing those on Monday at the George in Huddersfield. It's a very interesting and important phase in the history of Rugby League now, because I think it's a great game, a great product. And you've got to get it sold down in London particularly. I think the news of Brisbane Broncos are coming. That's interesting. Get a stadium like QPR in the centre of London. I think there's a crowd there, and certainly you've got the product. I think this is a great game, and it's sad that it's not actually shown nationwide or appreciated nationwide. It deserves to be.
Can you give us a sneak preview into what the centenary celebrations might include, or is it still a closely guarded secret?
My lips are sealed, but it'll be a good day, I'm sure.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael.
My pleasure.
Great to see someone like Michael Parkinson so enthusiastic about this game of rugby league, and he's absolutely right. It should be appreciated by a lot more people around this nation, Steve-o.
Give it time, we'll get there, don't worry about it. But yes, you're right. Under the conditions, I think the standard of the game has been exceptionally high. A little bit disappointing the fact that Bradford came back and scored that late try, because up until then I thought that perhaps Wakefield were gaining in confidence. They were finding a few gaps.
This is the very first try of the evening, and it came about as a result of Derek Fox's second kick in quick succession.
Yeah, well, it's a bad mistake, wasn't it? Unfortunately, the fullback, Gary Spencer, he had all the time in the world for it. He should have taken it. Rather interesting to see that David Topless soon changed that and dropped back Henry Paul into the fullback position, but it was a little bit too late. This was super play, though. I love to see the forwards back up. A little bit of lady luck there, but look, they were meant to take advantage. Summers went straight in. But at that point, Bradford really were taking control. They were turning in the tackle. They were taking the gamble in very wet conditions, and it was paying off. But this is just super play, isn't it? Bradford were caught out. There was two men taking one position, only half a gap, and this youngster, Henry Paul, well, we'll hear quite a lot about him, I am sure, in many years to come. He really is a talent that we can look forward to. It was a superb try, wasn't it?
It was a great try, and Michael Parkinson appreciated it. We all appreciated it, and as we said in commentary, we've mentioned over the past few weeks about the great young players in this country. There is one that I think we'll be seeing in the Winfield Cup in the future, taking them by storm.
Not only that, but I think that we'll see him in the New Zealand shirt for many, many years to come. He's so confident, isn't he? But this was a killer. This was the one that really did make sure that Wakefield's heads bowed down, but let's take advantage. Look at that. This man is virtually unstoppable when he gets in this mood. Super step.
You know, the thing is, we talk about Italians swerving the ball into the net in soccer, and we talk about tries like that. That's a British player. If that would have been Mal Meninga, everyone would have been going into raptures about it. It was a heck of a try.
It was, certainly was. I'm in raptures about it, but it was a lovely step. He's a big man, and once he steps and gets through and on the run, he's hard to stop.
See more of the best of Paul Newlove in the second half. Bradford Northern ahead by 12 points at the break. Henry Paul will do all he can to get Wakefield back into this match. The difference is only 12 points. It's up for the winning.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Did you know we can save a massive 11% if we book a holiday at the London Poly now? Get away!
You said I was selfish. Me? Huh. Who said? I never thought of anyone else. Wanted everything my own way. He said I didn't know anything about give and take. I mean, you don't think I'm selfish, do you?
Cadbury's Dairy Milk.
A few friends around last night, Mum.
One or two.
Yeah, you're gonna need a hand.
Oh, is that an offer? Thanks. Here's the flash.
What's wrong with this? Race ya.
You're on. Even in water, flashes faster on this tough, greasy stuff. Come on, give us a welly.
How'd you do that? Go on. You've done this before. That's great, Mum. I'll use Flash after my party.
What party?
On Greasy Grime, Flash cuts scrubbing time in half.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be landing shortly in London, where you can expect heavy showers, fluffy towels, and a powerful hairdryer.
My husband is a dud, okay?
He cast me in a movie he was making called Nudist Colony of the Dead.
What kind of...
Infatuation and That's Amore. Programs to talk about on UK Living.
That's the more sexual side of yoga.
You practice yoga?
Simmer down, okay?
Your heart beats around 100,000 times a day. Your eyes take in more information than the largest telescope known to man. Your lungs inhale over 2 million liters of air every year. Your hearing is so sensitive, it can distinguish between hundreds of thousands of different sounds. Your brain is more complex than the most powerful computer. You're amazing. We want you to stay that way.
They're too good for England.
We always draw a line.
We are number one where cricket is concerned.
Anybody comes over, they'll put back over.
England's tour of the West Indies. The contest you won't want to miss.
Everyone's going to be competing very hard, but we just got to be competing harder.
If I were you, I'd catch all the cricket live, only on Sky Sports.
Sky's cricket coverage is sponsored by Whittingdale, Gilt Fund Managers.
Seize the day.
Half-time here at Odsall, just confirmation of the score at the break. Bradford 18, Wakefield 6. 3 tries to 1, Shelford, Summers and Newlove to the 1 from Henry Paul for Wakefield. He converted it. And Bill Arthur downstairs has got David Topless, the Wakefield Trinity coach.
Dave, up until that Paul Newlove try, it was looking OK for you, wasn't it?
That's right, and a very harsh penalty, I thought, that got them in the position for it. You know, I mean, I don't think we've had a penalty yet, and a lot of the 50-50 decisions are going with Bradford because of the crowd. And it's the usual case, when you're down at bottom, they don't think you deserve to win. But our lads are putting the effort in, and I'm sure we can turn it if we get a fair crack.
That's David Topless' view. I don't think there'll be too many neutrals who would disagree with that. David Topless hoping for better things in the second half of this vital match in the Stonesborough Championship, where Bradford are aiming for the top of the table, defending their unbeaten home record that stretches back 10 months and 11 matches. And Bradford have made 2 changes. Both their subs are on. David Heron and Paul Medley have come onto the field. And the 2 players that have been replaced, Trevor Clark and John Hamer. So poor Peter Fox is just mixing and matching, trying to encourage a little bit more effort perhaps from his side, but certainly that try right at the half-time siren will have flattened Wakefield a bit, but it certainly hasn't flattened this match. There's only 12 points in it, and Wakefield, if they show as much endeavour as they did in the first half, are not out of this, not yet.
No, you can't say they're out of the game when they've got a player like number 6, Henry Paul. He's shown some delightful touches. He's led the way, and Wakefield really are playing with a lot of courage and spirit.
David Watson with another twinkle-toed run. He really does skip across the mud, doesn't he? It's not a night for agile-footed players like Watson and Kebby or Dio Powell. It's a night for men like Paul Gratian and Paul Medley. There's David Heron. Great run from Heron. He really is playing in top form at the moment. The support arrived from Powell. Ball maybe should have gone out wide. Carl Fairbank clapping his hands, wanting to get on with it. Gets the ball away on this last tackle, collected by Watson. Fox will keep it alive with the high kick. It's drifting behind the post. Paul, as safe as houses, diffuses the high kick. It'll be a tap on their own 20-metre mark.
Well, there's a man for all occasions, isn't he, the little Kiwi? But that was excellent support play from Bradford there. Substitute Heron being backed up superbly by the second rower, Roy Powell. Vintage stuff in wet conditions.
Now here's Paul joining the line this time. Harry Spencer's just left the field temporarily to have some treatment, but he will be back into the fray in a moment. Good play from Wakefield. Adrian Flynn, 19-year-old Academy International. Made his debut in a 90 points to 12 win over Highfield in the Regal Trophy. This is Wilson. Keeps the ball alive to Conway. Durham. Paul again. High kick to test David Watson. Watson drops it. That's why the kick was hoisted. He was lucky that Fairbank was there.
Very lucky indeed. You could see Fairbank was falling backwards. It was Watson that actually knocked him out of the way. Failed to take possession. Well, Lady Luck is certainly shining on Bradford on one or two occasions in this game.
Spencer's back on. Looks like something with the hand. Perhaps a finger that needed putting back after being dislocated. Bradford then in possession with Heron. Now with Summers. Little gap for Summers. Great run. Skipping over the turf. Conway's after him. Paul's trying to cut him off. And it's Conway eventually who brings him down. That's a great run from Summers. They're still not finished, Bradford. Fox to Heron. Good ball to Dixon, who hit that at pace. Keeps the ball alive. Play on is the referee's decision. So close. David Watson gets the ball away. Oh, it's untidy, but it's effective. But Wakefield have come up with it courtesy of Paul.
Well, they try to keep the ball alive once again. Watson really should have died with that one. So close to the line. But what a great run from Neil Summers.
There he is, Summers, number 6, in the tackling with Gratian. Half the length of the field he ran there before he was cut down. But it was the springboard for that Bradford attack.
Yes, the tactics have changed somewhat for Bradford in the second half. Derek Fox going into the first man. They're using the big forwards running out wide.
The ball just sprung out of the grasp then. Popped up. Nobody could hang on. Woods couldn't.
But what an impact tackle from Carl Fairbank. The shoulder really went in then.
Gary Spencer is coming off. He, I think, dislocated a finger. He's had treatment on it. He went back on, obviously still in considerable pain. They've called for a doctor, in fact, so it's still not fixed. Meanwhile, Lee Hanlon has gone on to the pitch, and I think Henry Paul has dropped back to fullback.
Yes, Paul will stay where he is. Spencer taken off. Hanlon comes on. Substitute last Sunday, Lee Hanlon, but not used. He's being used tonight. It's full of the dummy half. Nigel Bell. He will keep the battle going, will Nigel Bell. The last thing he wants in his benefit year is for Wakefield to go down. Good tackling by Dixon on the tall centre, Flynn. There's Hanlon. Oh, not the best pass for your first, was it? Done his best to retrieve the situation, though, and has got the ball back for Wakefield Trinity. He slid in with the tackle.
That should be the last tackle. There'll be a handover. Interference, perhaps, from Christie, but Bradford with possession.
So close to the line with Powell. This Wakefield defence now will have to work overtime. 6.5 minutes, second half gone. Bradford looking for more. It's Medley. That's a good tackle, though, by Paul again. How often have we mentioned the young Kiwi's name tonight? Summers. And his legs were lifted again by Durham. Dangerous tackle that was.
Oh, well spotted there by the hooker, Matthew Fuller. He knew that the move was on there, and he really did smother Fox. You could see Fox bending down to shield the ball. Didn't know which one the pass was going to go to.
Here's David Heron on at the start of this second half. It's the last tackle for Bradford Northern. That's the Wakefield try line in your picture. Fox keeps the ball alive. Gratian volleys it forwards, but into the arms of Paul again. This young kid is everywhere.
somewhat unorthodox from a prop forward, never made any attempt to take it and catch it. Just put the foot to it. Oh, that looked forward.
Referee disagrees with you. It's Christie. Christie has got the support from Hanlon. And Hanlon was cut down almost as soon as he received it by Paul Newlop.
He's shown some nice touches, hasn't he, this Gary Christie?
Wakefield then, they spring from defence to attack. In possession with Conway, running strongly, Billy Conway. Gets the ball away to Mason. Danger here for Bradford. Good run from Mason.
Oh, they took the dummy. It's a good job that Dio Powell was inside.
The last tackle, Woods, still going Woods. Gets the ball away, had to keep it alive if he could. It was on the last tackle. And Flynn thought he was going to be able to carry on there, but it was the last tackle. It's the turnover.
Good play once again from Wakefield. They have not thrown the towel in. They're still in this game. Plenty of time.
Yeah, well, David Topless, their coach, summed up the spirit in the camp. They're not ready to throw that white towel in yet, are they? And runs like this.
See how he threw the dummy there. And it's a good job that Dio Powell took the gamble and come in off the wing. Otherwise, that was a try. If Powell had missed that tackle, the ball could have been swept out to the wing and it would have been an open run to the line.
Fairbank almost has the shirt pulled off his back by Bell. Fox will drill the ball downfield. Paul shuttles across and picks it up. That's a good chase. Great chase from Summers.
Been a good contest, hasn't it, between the two number 6s.
Here's Andy Wilson. Tackle completed, standing up. Nigel Bell.
Bradford have to be very careful now. They've got to get this one line of defence sorted out. Wakefield are applying the pressure. And was that high?
It was.
Referee Connolly says that Paul Medley went over the top of the ball, onto the neck, sufficient to give the penalty. As I say, Eddie, Bradford have to organise themselves. They still have this 12-point cushion.
That was Wakefield's first penalty of this match. We've been playing 50 minutes. 4-1 on the penalty count. Paul deposits the ball into touch. Not one of Wakefield's happiest hunting grounds. Odsal of 15 meetings since 1974, since two divisions were reintroduced. Bradford have won 13 of the 15. But is a history-making win beckoning for Wakefield here tonight. Conway with the run into the danger zone.
Interesting to see how Billy Conway is now taking on the defence. He's running at them, trying to prise open the gap.
Paul with a lovely ball to Slater. A good job that Shelford was there. Fuller misses out. Conway and his captain Woods. Fuller with the long ball out wide. It was risky, it didn't come off. Newlop went for the interception originally. He was quite prepared to take the half volley.
Well, Bradford were very lucky there. It was a good run from Fuller. Couldn't knock on there, Gary Christie, trying to just pat the ball out wide. But the hooker, Matthew Fuller, is having a pretty good game for Wakefield. Threw about 3 dummies there. The Bradford defence took them all.
Gracian's run strongly all night, but Fuller. Here's Heron. Now Dixon. It's nights like this, Steve-O, when you think of the end of the season and the championship trophy being hoisted aloft. This is a night when championships are won and lost, isn't it?
Certainly is. Bradford know that too. Vital 2 points. Wakefield feeling the same way, of course. They're battling in that relegation zone.
Wilson hanging on to the ball for Wakefield. Yes, Wakefield third bottom, Bradford second top, but what a battle this is on this muddy Odsal surface. The rain thankfully beginning to ease as Glancy takes the ball up again for Wakefield. Fuller again the dummy half. He finds Conway. Conway helps it wide to Paul. He says to Hanlon, you have a run, and Hanlon obliges. The support is there from Woods. This is a great attack from Wakefield with Paul. He has Mason. Mason, the ball out wide, straight into the arms almost of Kevy.
Well, that was sensational stuff from Wakefield. But the last pass from the most experienced man on the park, Mason, really wasn't on. Surely could see that Gary Christie was in front. A chance bomb there. But what a wonderful passage of play in such conditions. The deft little pass inside, it was backed up superbly.
Yes, credit both these sides for putting on such a show for the big league tonight. Here comes Gratian again. Been running strongly all night, the big fella. It's the last tackle for Bradford. Good defence again from Wakefield to hold them up. Little dink over the top from Fox, aiming for that corner again, but this time it slides dead on the turf.
The idea was to try to just make it stop on the in-goal area, apply the pressure, but just a little bit too strong. And Bradford certainly not having it all their own way. Many teams would have got the killer punch, really, when you think about it, scoring just before the half-time break. But full credit to Wakefield. They really are trying to get back into this game.
Good play again from Wakefield. They're keeping this ball alive. Wilson finds Conway. And Conway, as Steve-O said in this second half, really is taking this big Bradford defence on. Slow hand clapping on the terraces for the referee, John Connolly. Surprise, surprise, from the Bradford Northern faithful. It's last tackle for Wakefield. It's with Conway. It's now with Paul. Hammers the ball into the body of Medley. It's 6 to go. Referee says play on. That was our rule of the week at half-time, remember. Medley must have made a play for that ball. Wilson will continue the run.
He certainly did. Medley charged down, play on.
Good decision.
Back to 6.
That's a tremendous ball as he fell from Fuller. Wakefield are rolling forward. Again keeping the ball alive. Conway. Gratian and Heron with the tackle. Wakefield so close they could do with a try after all this pressure. Here's Henry Paul, the runner is Woods. Good tackling again from Bradford. Darryl Shelford, that is how close they are. Woods taps it to himself, gets the ball back. Try! Dave Woods, the captain, comes up with the 4 points for Bradford. For Wakefield, Bradford were caught.
Well, we said that Wakefield were finding the gaps, and good play by the Australian David Woods. He's not held there. He's back up onto his knees and he's in for a try. Paul Medley was late to get to him. It bounced up there. Shelford it was. And Woods, you can see, he gets himself off the floor. He lifts the knees enough to make it play on. You're allowed to do that. You can kick the ball away in any direction. Now look, he lifts the knee, and that is sufficient. According to John Connolly, he had got up off the ground before he was put down. When he first took acceptance of that football, no one was had their hands upon him, and therefore it is the correct ruling.
Dave Woods, with his 3rd try in 4 matches, gives Wakefield Trinity so much hope. And Henry Paul, only 1 kick, and it's been successful. And this is within range 2. Rain again, slanting down here at Odsal, straight into the face of Henry Paul. And he didn't get it off the ground. Could have done with those 2 points. Bradford 18, Wakefield 10. We have a match.
This is the reason why Woods used that. You can see 2 Bradford players, they're not behind each other. There's no one in the in-goal area. It bounces off Shelford. He has the right to pick it up and scores the try. Excellent positioning by Connolly.
Well, you can see the sort of conditions from our camera that's way up high in the clouds here at Bradford tonight. They are dreadful conditions, both for cameramen and for players. everyone getting a soaking, except for us two. Well, that was Wakefield's 39th try of this season. And that really, Steve-O, has been Wakefield's problem throughout this campaign. They haven't been able to score enough tries. But my word, aren't they inventive when they want to be?
They've shown some real good skills. The hooker, Matthew Fuller, really has come into his own in the second half. He's directing traffic, and so is this guy.
Yes, Conway, short little pass on the last tackle. That was to Steve Durham. Here's Conway again, and the burst coming in from Slater. The peel off the terraces for a forward pass. Connolly will well, I was going to say he'll have none of it, but he then signalled the forward pass. It's on the last tackle, so it's the turnover.
They just lost their way a little bit there, Wakefield. They didn't realise that that was the last tackle. They should really have elected to kick that ball deep into the Bradford quarter.
Look at the possession, the way it swung in Wakefield's favour this second half. 65% to 35%. That really does tell its own story. Bradford haven't got off the starting blocks, and there's a mistake from Gratian.
Impact of the tackle. And it was pretty high as well, wasn't it? Obvious interference by Richard Slater, not seen by John Connolly. Lady Luck switches its allegiance.
Conway to Hanlon, that's a lovely ball, a great run from Flynn. It's continued on by Christie, not forward.
Well, they're taking full advantage, Wakefield, of supporting the man with the football, but Bradford's defence is coming up one out, they're not coming up in one line. The gaps are appearing. A lot of problems in this Bradford defence.
Fuller to Conway, they have really controlled the second half. Woods, the score of the try, that's given them so much hope, but Woods this time loses the ball. Durham came in to try and continue the movement, but Woods lost it.
Well, a big second rower there trying to keep the ball alive. The impact just squeezed out there. Big second rower Roy Powell, the weight over the top.
Now can Bradford steady the ship down with Watson? And now with Newlove. An hour of this match gone. We have a quarter of it left for play, 20 minutes. And Wakefield in the hunt for a vital victory, which really would dent Bradford's title hopes. Here's Medley. 4 tries this fixture for Paul Medley last season. On as a sub, second half tonight. Summers attacking down the short side. Fox to Heron. The runner was Fairbank again. He twists in the tackle, but no one coming up in support, and he was all wrapped up anyway. Powell covered in mud from head to foot. Fox with the kick downfield. It just runs the wrong side of that corner flag.
You can see the disappointment on Derek Fox. He knows that they're under a lot of pressure. Wanted that ball just to stay in the field of play. Trying to force the error, but what a great game this youngster's having.
Henry Paul with that drive downfield. It's Wakefield who are in possession with Lee Hanlon. Oh, there's the mistake from Adrian Flynn. It'll be a scrum down for the knock on, the first one.
Well, the idea was there, wasn't it? Hanlon on the inside. The young centre, Adrian Flynn, coming on a little bit too low, just couldn't get it.
Bradford's head and feed. Let's go downstairs. Nigel Stevenson, the assistant Bradford coach, with Bill.
Nigel, you must be worried the way Wakefield are coming back at you.
We're disappointed the way we've played most of the game, to be quite honest, Bill. We've made far too many handle errors in the first half, and we've started the second half in similar vein. We've got drawn into a bit of a forward battle, taking it down the middle when we need to get the ball a little bit wider.
You're in the lead, but as yet there's no sign that you're really going to hammer home the advantage.
Once we scored just before half-time, when Newell scored a classic and went to 18-6 up, we were thinking that we may run away with it second half, but Wakefield has come out fired up and have tackled particularly well. They've scored the try, and now it's us that's under pressure, though David Heron has made a big difference to our play.
He has indeed, David Heron. It was a lovely pass over the shoulder as he fell, and it was Medley who was so close.
But they don't need to do that type of passing. Surely they realise they've got the 8-point advantage. Position on the park is vital. And looks to have put the shoulder out, trying to get that ball away in the tackle.
He's had problems with that shoulder all the way through this season as the 35-year-old Heron.
Well, you see him stepping through, and there's a tackle. Gets the ball away there and bounces down on the elbow. It seems to have shuttered the shoulder.
He's a brave lad, David Heron. He'll carry on. 2 caps for his country. Would you believe, way back in 1982 against the Aussies. Conway. Gratian trying to dump the little man into the mud and bury him at the same time.
Did a good job as well, didn't he? Oh, great tackle.
Hanlon's pass out wide. The tackle came in. Newlove picked up the pieces, and then Newlove got one for his pains off Hanlon. Gratian again.
That really was a super tackle from McKevy that jolted the ball free.
Fox. Bradford looking for the try that could clinch it. Burbank so close to the line again. They have just a couple more in this set of 6 to go. They're in possession with Fox. Now Heron with the injured shoulder. Back inside to Summers. Good tackle by Slater.
Surely they'll go for the little grubber.
Watson to Fox. There it is. Dabbed it forward. Wilson's there. And Wilson hammers it under pressure from Shelford.
Took his time, didn't he? Shelford nearly got there. It was a super kick from Fox. Look how it stands up there, but Wilson just in time.
So close, Darryl Shelford, the man who started the try scoring in the opening minute for Bradford Northern, so close to his second. That's a poor clearance. Immediately Bradford back on the verge of that 20-metre zone, but that's good chasing by Woods and Slater. Dixon under the pressure. Dio Powell now the dummy half. Here's Fox. Watson. Summers again.
Well, this is a position now for Bradford to try to bring people like Paul Newlove closer to the action. The ball's not getting out to the 3/4. Newlove is so strong, he has to come sniffing for action.
It's with Fox. It's now with Dixon. Dixon driving in towards the posts. 65 minutes of this match gone. Quarter of an hour to go as Heron tries to engineer something for Gratian. Gratian gets it away. Heron again. Back to Fox, but the ball bounces off the chest, and it was it Dave Woods, I think it was, who tried to get the ball away on his hands and knees.
Pinched a yard there, didn't he?
It wouldn't go down, would it?
It's been a tremendous effort from Wakefield.
It's a highly enjoyable contest in these awful conditions. Durham into the arms of Heron. Silly play.
He was never on.
There's Burbank with all the strength, and Wakefield have a big defending job to do here. Fox directing the operations. They go on the blind side with Dixon again. But it's pressure, pressure, pressure now from Bradford. Fox to Powell. Remember, Roy Powell scored a try when we saw Bradford against Leeds. It was the match winner against his former club. Fox, Watson, Summers, Kevy. Hat-trick last week, none so far tonight. Wants to get on with it under pressure from Fuller. That's Medley with the strength, and Medley with the try. The substitutes come up with the goods. 4 points for Medley. Great strength. His 4th of this campaign.
This was a build-up to it. For once they got the ball out right. Kevy coming looking for action. That's what was needed. Through the dummy. Gets away a tackle, but look how he gets up quickly. Trying to get up there. As he plays the ball, the substitute notices that a little bit short on the blind side, and the strength of the substitute, Paul Medley, gets him over. Looks as though he's going the open. There you see it. You can see the 2 men, they should have had him, but good work from the experienced Medley, twisting in the tackle. Hits the target and then twists. They should have held him. He did the right thing. That is a well-taken 4 points.
Paul Medley with the try, the back rower, but he has played hooker and wing this season, and he's got 4 tries now behind his name. Fox with the conversion attempt, and in these conditions, that's not a bad effort at all. 22-10, 12 points again, the gap for Wakefield to make up.
Look, there's 4 Wakefield players there. You have to stop a man in that position. That is poor defence, I'm afraid. But let's not take anything away from Medley. The strength and the ability to turn in the tackle earned him a vital try.
Wakefield have made a change they wanted to make earlier on, just before Dave Wood scored. In fact, they had planned then to take Steve Durham off, front rower, but when Wood scored, Matt Fuller, his hooker, pleaded with them to keep him on. Well, Durham stayed on and made the mistake in that last move where Northern scored, so he's come off, and Paul Brown, the other Wakefield Trinity substitute, is now on.
Yeah, Paul Brown, a local amateur who began his big league career as an A and other in trials. But watching now as Medley streaks away towards the line. Paul is there. Great tackle, Henry Paul again. Wonderful run from Medley, though. Second try was beckoning.
Good play by the little halfback Billy Conway as well. Medley trying to pass the ball, but a combination there of the 2 substitutes. Heron made the first one and sent Medley away. He has plenty of speed, but that is a great tackle, isn't it? The big man taken down with the expertise of the little man, Henry Paul. And you're allowed to do that. The ball hits the ground, that is when you can strike it.
Here's Newlove again, running down strongly on the blind side. 4 men again. This time they're equal to the task. Newlove wants to get on with it. Dial Powell heading for the line. A good job that Glancy shuttled across there, because he might even have got that down with the long arm. Fox to Watson. Watson heading back towards the heavy traffic.
This is where the kick is on, right across the face of the goalpost, surely.
Referee John Connolly calls time off. Wakefield player down and injured. And it's Richard Slater. A bang on the hip there. He's one of 4 men in to stop Watson.
Twisting round, and I think you'll find that the boot, there it is, the boot from Watson. Didn't know it was there. Trying to push himself away, and that's gone right into the groin. He's a tough boy, though.
And he's being taken off, and it's Durham who will replace him. Has to come off, really, with an injury like that, with Bradford so close to the line. Wasn't pleased to be taken away, though, from the action, was he? Here's Powell. We're in the last 10. Bradford trying to just turn the screw and win this now. 22 points to 10 ahead. 9.5 to go. Fox to Heron, to Dixon. A sterling defensive effort from Wakefield Trinity. But the line has been breached, but not this time. Hanlon just tidies up the pieces, puts his head down and takes the tackle. Possession now has swung Bradford's way, hasn't it? It was 65-30 not too long ago. Virtually level pegging now. It's been a good period of about 10 minutes or so for Bradford Northern. Les Fuller works hard all night. Another good run. He's away from Grayson. That's great support play. This is Hanlon. Hanlon has got Mason. Oh, but he put it straight into the arms of Powell. And Wakefield, they are putting these chances down.
Oh, superb combination from the hooker Matthew Fuller, the substitute Lee Hanlon. Unfortunately, Mason was streaming for the ball inside, and Powell's long arm just came out, took it to his chest. That was try-saving time, and he knows it.
Great effort from Powell. Bradford now in possession with Dixon. Heron gets it to Watson. Watson skips through the challenges. Heron is there, and Heron will score. That's the match for Bradford. They're going to go back to the top tonight.
Well, when you're down, but it was a beautiful pass inside and a beautiful break from Watson. Really does have the skills and balance. And David Heron, look at the strength there. There was no chance. Wakefield were down to 12 men. You can see on your right hand of your screen the hooker Matthew Fuller was receiving treatment. But it was a lovely ball back inside. Superb pass. Good support play. In these wet conditions, the support play tonight has been absolutely superb.
The substitute, David Heron, has come up with the goods there. That's only the second try that he scored here at Odsal Stadium in the past 2 years. Fox with the extra 2, and Bradford are heading back to the top of the big league. 28 points to 10. Wakefield's brave resistance beginning now to crumble. Fitness, we said, could be the key. Perhaps Wakefield is starting to blow a bit strongly. Bradford now with their tails right up.
Isn't it amazing, eh? A beautiful break from Wakefield. The combination from the hooker out to the substitute Hanlon. And it was the fingertips of the second rower, Roy Powell, that saved the day. And while Fuller was taking treatment, Wakefield down at 12, Bradford give them the killer punch. It can be so cruel, this game of rugby league.
And Wakefield now will be struggling a little bit up front. They've lost a couple of forwards, haven't they? And John Glancy's in his first big league appearance of the season. There he is, the number 10, tackling Neil Summers round the legs. Bit of help from Hanlon. So fitness, as we say, is going to play an important part in this. Here come Bradford again. Lovely run from Grayson. He finds Watson. Fox, a brilliant pass to Powell. Watson backing up, keeps the movement flowing. On the knees, play on. It's with Fox again. Powell wants it out wide. Powell for the corner. Try! The referee's pulled it back. Forward pass. It's no try. The celebrations amongst the players, the consternation on the terraces. John Connolly's rubbed that try off.
Sometimes referees can be oh so mean, can't they? This was super play, but I feel that Watson was fully tackled then. Both knees were on the ground. Well, that wasn't forward to me. Maybe the scales of justice came a little bit level there.
Didn't look forward, did it? Plenty to talk about in this match, but Bradford ahead now 28-10, and we're in the last 5.
Well, we said so often that the struggling sides, injury and problems with the players being requested to take a 20% cut, but it's amazing how they play in front of the TV cameras. They just lift their game. This has been a super effort from Wakefield.
Certainly has. They've told the Wakefield directors they're not prepared to take the pay cut, and my word, they put in the effort here tonight. Dio Powell thought he had his name on the try sheet. Danced and celebrated, no try. Where are we Sunday? I'll tell you where. We're at the Willows. Salford against Hull. It's being billed as Andy Gregory against Desi Hasler. It'll be a battle of the little halfbacks. Salford Hull, don't miss it on the big league Sunday at 7. Four minutes to go. Bradford home and hose now. Back to the top of the table. Finishing with a flourish. Furbank, though, going down under the challenge.
And it proved to be a masterstroke, hasn't it, the second half. The Bradford coach, Peter Fox, bringing on both his substitutes, David Heron and Paul Medley. They certainly lifted the side, took them up an extra gear.
Hanlon to Conway. Big effort from Conway second half. Wilson. Oh, lovely play. They keep the ball alive well when they want to. Wakefield. Henry Paul. Now Wilson dancing down centre field. Halted by Medley.
When you look at the scoreline, Eddie, it really does not have a reflection on the game.
Does Wakefield no justice at all? Hanlon trying to use a bit of strength to palm Derek Fox away. Fuller. He was injured during the build-up to that last Bradford try that counted. Here's Christie.
Well, that was touched by a Bradford player. You can see the referee Connolly saying it came off the shoulder.
So it's last tackle. Paul clips the ball over the top. Watson says thanks very much, despite Steve Durham closing down on him.
Bit of a desperation attempt there by the young Kiwi, Henry Paul. But wonderful positioning by Watson.
Lovely ball round the corner too, from Watson to Kebby. Kebby dances away from one challenge. Can't get away from the second though. The crowd want a Bree McKebby special to round the night off. Derek Fox now for Bradford. Coming up to 2 minutes of normal time. The ball has come out of the grip of Derek Fox. What's the decision? Is it a knock-on? Is it a steal? It's a knock-on.
Yeah, he said that he's lost the ball. Well, come on, squeeze out. Pretty hard there. Bar of soap, you can't tell that. Maybe a little bit of a help from Matthew Fuller. Either way, Fox wasn't happy.
And the ref isn't happy with that scrum. Fell to pieces, wants it to reform.
Some tired legs out there. Very heavy conditions tonight. Full credit to both sides. They really have turned on some wonderful football.
Yes, in these conditions, it's been a super advert for the big league. I just wonder, Steve-O, have we seen Bradford Northern? Are they real championship potential?
Well, when they've got players like Paul Newlove, David Watson, Summers and Derek Fox and a good forward pack, you've always got to think that they're going to be around, aren't they, at the end? But Wakefield, in the second half especially, has given a few scares to their coach, Peter Fox, I'm sure, because they found quite a few gaps in that defence.
Yes, they have. They've worked hard. We're in the last minute of normal time. And Wakefield coming forward in numbers. Paul with the quick hands to Wilson. They've announced apparently the Bradford Northern man of the match is David Watson, but this number 6 for Wakefield, he is my man of the match, despite the fact that he's on the losing side. Last tackle. Here's Watson. 20 seconds of normal time to go. They say silence is golden, Steve-O.
Well, you wouldn't expect the Bradford side to pick someone from the opposition, would you?
Gratian, he's worked hard too. He really has had a big game. The bustling prop forward.
Worked hard, hasn't he?
Medley. Medley, the substitute in this second half. Fancies a race. He's going to win it. He's past Paul. Oh, he's just kicked it too long. Oh, Paul Medley cannot believe it. He was so close.
This was super play. Georgie Best at his best until the end. He knows it too.
Well, he got 4 in this fixture last season, Steve-O. Medley could have had a hat-trick in this second half. He's only got 1.
Yes, certainly played the tune the second half, hasn't he?
Oh, I see. Medley. Tune. Fine. I'm with you. On halfway. Don't know whether the rest of the country is, but still. Mason.
Still trying to Wakefield, aren't they? Even though the scoreline 28-10.
Deep in stoppage time. Oh, well, the first one was perhaps questionable. The second one was definite. But there's the full-time siren as we watch that little knock-on from Lee Hanlon. The end of a pulsating affair in the Odsal mud, and Bradford go to the top of the table. David Heron, scorer of a try in the second half, but Henry Paul tried as hard as any for Wakefield. It was no use in the end. Bradford had too much in reserve. They go back top of the table, 28 points to 10.
Seize the day.
You're watching Sky Sports. In the big league, a war of the roses and a crucial time for Salford and Hull as the battle begins for a playoff position.
Champagne stuff that.
Former Test halfback Andy Gregory leads a Salford resurgence, but his Australian counterpart Des Hasler is no pushover. It's tight. Salford and Hull, Sunday night at 7, Sky Sports.
What's been the highlight of my day? Discovering I got a secret admirer? Or discovering a chocolate drink that's light in calories? And has all the taste of Cadbury's. So what was the highlight of my day? No contest, really.
High in Cadbury's taste, light in calories. Every day should have its highlights.
So where's all the cowboys?
What's that? We should have left this stuff.
Well, let's do it.
Have a nice day.
Okay, so let's leave it all.
The 106?
No, Tony's flat.
The Peugeot 106. Leave it all behind.
What, my Tony?
What's it like going into action with today's most exciting warplanes?
Good man.
Tornado pilots tell you in takeoff. What's it like fighting fires from the air? What can be learned from aviation disasters? Page by page, week by week, Takeoff tells you everything you want to know about aircraft and what it's like to fly them. Get part 1 of Takeoff this week with the first 2 pieces of this free model kit and build your own Tornado.
When I was Jack the lad, shredded wheat helped give me what I needed. But now I'm Jack the man, my needs are different. I still want brand fiber, no added sugar or salt, and 100% whole wheat. So, shredded wheat's the only one for me. Hey, I like to keep the best players for my team.
Shredded wheat and bite size too. There is no better cereal.
Cats love to be clean. And there isn't a cleaner cat litter than Catsan. Catsan works differently from ordinary litters. Each absorbent granule neutralizes odor before it has a chance to develop. Catsan Hygiene Litter absorbs before odor can develop.
Have you ever been in a situation where someone's saying one thing to you, but their body is telling you something completely different?
Yes. It's very difficult.
Practicing my body language.
I'm not exactly enthralled.
Be careful which way across my legs.
Being gay doesn't mean you're not a woman and don't have the same broody feelings.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
You think it's worth it?
I think that it'll just strike you when the time is right. Yeah. Don't you think so?
Like 7:30?
Maybe 6:30.
Where, Nikki?
In Newman Towers.
What a dump.
Well, I wouldn't really know about that.
Soaps, fashion, cookery, drama, relationships. There's always something to talk about on UK Living.
How would you feel about that?
All grumpy the next day.
And then you need to rinse the kidneys.
Maybe it's time to update your image.
Beauty is not a question of age.
You mean you date 40-year-old men? It's classy.
And now the fashion's to have them a little bit more bushy.
UK Living is the channel that gets people talking.
I love to cook Cajun food because I'm from Louisiana.
What a dump.
He is the law. The British television premiere of Karate Cop, Saturday night at 10 on Sky Movies.
Seize the day.
Bradford, top of the big league, with a 28 points to 10 victory here at Odsal. 18-6 up at half-time. They consolidated their position in the face of a Wakefield onslaught for much of that second half, and 4,500 brave souls here in the driving rain at Odsal, watching Bradford go to the top of the table. 5 tries from Bradford, 2 from Wakefield. Rhys McKebby, their winger of Bradford Northern, talking now with Bill Arthur live.
Brimmer, you didn't get on the score sheet, mind you. It wasn't a night for flying wingers, was it?
No, Wakefield made it very hard for us, and the conditions didn't help. I think, you know, we got off to a very good start, and being 12-0 up, I think we took liberties, really, you know, considering the conditions.
It was surprising the way you did try and move the ball, considering the conditions. I mean, surely the aim would have been to keep it tight.
Yes, we should have kept it tight, but, Peter, during the week, told us to try and be a bit more expansive in our game, but, we should have really taken into consideration the weather conditions.
Were you surprised at the way Wakefield battled?
Yes, they made it hard for us when we played there earlier on in the season, so we knew it was going to be hard, being a Yorkshire derby.
And they certainly came back at you, certainly during the first half anyway, until Paul Newlove scored. It was very close.
Yes, it was very close. They came at us in the second half as well for the first 20 minutes. And the game was, was always in the balance up to the last 20 minutes, really.
Well, this result puts you back on top of the table, and it might be a short-lived spell there, but at least you're still in the hunt.
Yes, we feel as if we haven't played that well, but we're still up there, so, it's better than being anywhere else on the table.
The trick is really to maintain the form, isn't it?
Yes, hopefully we can keep on winning and not slipping up. We slipped up at Hull KR and at Hull, and we really need to go to those sort of places and win.
Thanks very much, Brimmer.
Right. Thank you.
The match facts tell their own story. A big effort from these two sides here tonight in these conditions. 18 scrums, 10 of them going Wakefield's way. Penalties, a remarkably low penalty count tonight, 4-1. Handling errors you would expect, 26 errors, and Bradford made 14 of them. And they bossed it in each half, didn't they? But only just. It was a really big effort from Wakefield Trinity. They go back to Bellevue with another defeat under their belts. But Bradford, top of the table, and a delighted second-half substitute, scorer of one of the tries, Paul Medley now with Bill.
Paul, in the end, it was a convincing victory, but my word, you had to battle for that.
Yeah, we made hard work of it. Wakefield, all credit to them, they kept going. And they got an early try in the second half, and, they made a game of it.
And in fact, during the first half, up until Paul Newlove scored, they were coming back at you and maybe had you worried.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some early tries and then, our own sloppy play, plus Wakefield's play, allowed them to get back in the game.
Conditions obviously played a part. It must have been terrible to try and handle the ball.
Yeah, it was. The ball was slippy, but, it's the same with both sides and it's the conditions you've got to play to.
Well, it's a win that puts you on top of the table. It must be a nice position.
Yeah, we're happy to be there and just, keep winning game to game.
The trick is now stay there.
Let's hope so.
What about this young man alongside you, Henry Paul? Had quite a game.
Yeah, it's a good game. I think he's got a big future in the game.
Henry, commiserations. Your own performance, though, you must be pleased with that.
Oh, it's personally, if you play well in a losing pack, it's hard to be excited about how well you played when the team's losing. You always feel for the team that's going down, and for me, personally, I played well, but we're not winning. So, as a team, I still feel pretty down.
Do you think you were in with a chance there at one stage?
Oh, definitely. We came out here with the hope to win the game. We didn't want to just put a good effort on. We wanted to make sure that we came out and played to win. We had our chances and we didn't take them.
You think you can still survive?
Oh, well, there's, I think 12 more games to go in the competition, and hopefully we'll do our best.
Just one final word with Paul Medley. What about that one at the end that you didn't get?
Yeah, it's all started the one that got away. It's just one of those things. On another night it may have come off, but, just have to watch the video. Cheers.
Well, he'll watch it and he'll enjoy it, despite the fact that he missed a hat-trick in the second half after his 4-try effort against Wakefield here last year. But he's gone home with 1 try. He's gone home with winning money. He's gone home with his team back at the top of the table. Can they stay there?
I think they can, but there's still a lot of work to do, especially in defence. Wakefield showed in that second half that quite a few gaps were appearing. For some unknown reason, Bradford, for about 15 minutes after the break, decided not to move up in one line. They were going up one out. Sometimes it was just like a dog's back leg, and they cannot afford to do that if they're going to be championship contenders.
Well, David Topless, the Wakefield coach, we spoke to him briefly, didn't we, at half-time, and he was hopeful that his team would come back in the second half and take the points against Bradford Northern. He'll be a disappointed man, but I'm sure quite proud with the effort his team put in. He's with Bill now.
Yes, Dave, you must be proud at least of the effort that the side showed.
Yes, we put a lot of effort in. We were having to do it tough. We wasn't getting a lot of the 50-50 decisions, and a lot was going against us. But when we pulled to just 8 points behind, I felt we could have done it. But what we started doing is getting overexcited and forcing the ball in the wrong areas of the field. I kept sending messages on to tell them not to panic, and we just started to get the ball in their half, and Bradford come up with the mistakes, but we came up with them, and then that lifted Bradford on.
Given what's been going on off the pitch at Trinity, the players been asked to take a wage cut. For them to show that much dedication to the cause was quite remarkable, I thought.
Well, really, off-the-field activities never interfere with on the field, you know, and training and everything. That's done off the field, and no, what it does, it just tends to pull teams together. And I was very pleased with the effort tonight. I felt we deserved. That scoreboard doesn't, you know, doesn't reflect the game. You know, it flatters Northern a bit, I feel.
Well, viewing the top of the table from where you are, they're top. How do you see things shaping up at the other end of the table?
Well, you've got to win a few games, you know. I mean, we know it's going to be hard today. I mean, Bradford's top of the league, and you know, players like Nolove and Watson, and you know, Watson was superb again. We know all about him, and Nolove got a try just before half-time that I feel only him could have scored. They've got, you know, it's going to be a hard battle. You know, there's about, I think, about 4 or 5 teams still can be in that with Lee.
But at least you've got the spirit there to get you out of trouble.
Oh, the spirit's there. It's not new to us, you know. We worked on a budget, you know. It's my 7th season in charge, and I think every season bar one has been like this, so we were used to it, and I know what exactly to do. You've got to keep the spirit there, and you pick up wins, and then one win gains confidence. But